We rolling? You ready, Ben?
I am ready.
Welcome back to another episode. How do you feel?
Pretty mighty fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mighty fine?
Mighty fine.
I like that description.
Thanks for having me.
Pod number three.
Peige pod number 3. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we are all rocking sunglasses.
Great episode in store. Great episode in store.
We are outside at our villa, as you can see if you are watching. It is a little bit windy, so please bear with us through the audio. We have a very janky podcast setup as one of our cameras is balanced on 10 books.
And
it could fall over any second now.
A glass bowl.
And a glass bowl, so
We'll see what happens.
hopefully that doesn't fall over.
It's worth the background though.
No, 100%. Yeah. So we've actually decided to move out of Villa Vanilla next month into a new place where we have a podcast studio that's going to be set up. Boys, how you feeling about that?
Feeling great.
Mighty
Ben, you got it.
Ben,
the last time.
That was the last one. We're going to need that one to just like chill right there.
Villa Vanilla was good for a couple weeks.
It's a
or
tester.
few
It
weeks.
was a
a
tester.
good tester.
It was a
Get our
tester.
feet wet here in Bali. Get our feet wet in the Villa scene.
Yeah.
But we have decided to literally move across the street
To the castle.
to the castle. We went and looked at this place a few days ago, and I would say it's just like heaven, pretty much.
I mean, it's literally a mansion.
It's like my.
And it's like, so
Nice.
the issue with Villa Vanilla right now that we're experiencing is we have these extremely nice construction workers that are next door, but honestly it just pisses me off and burns my ass because I wake up at 6:30 a.m. to the sound of drills. And when I go on my 10-mile run in the morning, I wake up to the sound of drills and then go back to bed after. So like 7:30, they're still drilling, which is like, you can hear them right now. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? It's
They're still drilling right now.
Yeah, it's unreal.
They're making great progress over there.
No, yeah, they
They're
grind.
working their asses
Best
off.
part is when they close down the entire street and you're just like stuck there for.
Yeah,
No,
so
yeah.
there's a very narrow driveway to get from the main road to our villa, and their construction, sometimes they have to bring like cement trucks or like dirt trucks in, and they have to block the entire driveway. So
This is like an everyday occurrence.
yeah, it's sometimes a couple times a day. So when that happens, we literally cannot leave our villa.
It's pretty annoying.
Am I soloing it today or
Yeah.
I already had my Nescafe.
Yeah.
where
You're
the
behind.
Red Bulls?
The
at?
first Nescafe, we kept hitting the table a lot, and a lot of people were pissed about it. So we're like not gonna hit.
So
the
maybe just.
So just don't.
Or just hold it.
Just don't hit the table.
Or just chug it right now.
Dude, we're not sponsored.
Just don't hit the table.
There we go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
this podcast is unsponsored at the moment, so we like Red Bull. Well,
No.
if you're a Monster and you want to send some to Bali, we would very much appreciate that because we can't find any
I
Monster
just
here.
put it in every video, every Insta story.
But we have been drinking Red Bull because that's our only option here, and Nescafe that Ben has like put us on.
Yeah.
But
Not me.
if you are a Monster and you're listening, we would love to endorse your product here on the podcast.
100%.
We'll chug probably 5 per episode.
Chad Netter, what's the topic of today's video? Podcast.
I think we're going to talk
Still getting used to it.
podcast. Yeah. Topic of today's podcast is college.
This is a great topic. I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this. It's going to cause a lot of discussion among
Yeah, I feel like
us.
there are always two sides to it.
Totally.
Yep.
Totally. Huge two sides, and I think we have each side present in this conversation, which is awesome.
3 sides.
How so?
It's a triangle.
Well, you
That
kind
was
of went.
two.
You went through it. Chad really didn't go through it, and I went through the whole
I
thing.
thought Chad went through it.
No, I
I
went
like
through for
kind
like
of
a
like
week.
put my feet in.
He kinda-
Okay, got
kinda
it.
dipped
got
his
it,
toes
got
in the
it, got it,
water.
got it. Got scared
Kinda
and
have
just
three-
ran out.
We gotta
Got
got
it.
three
Yeah.
perspectives here. It's good stuff.
The only perspective we're missing is the person that just like didn't try. It might be a little loud because of that wind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Braden went to college, finished. I went for a year, then got out of there. Ben, you went for how long?
Like literally dropped out of my last year.
So how
Yeah.
how long?
About 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
That's longer than Braden.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
That's a long time.
That's
Yeah, it is.
intense.
And the last 2 was literally just like deciding
Oh my god.
whether to drop out or not.
Crazy. What'd you go to school for again, Ben?
Architecture.
Architecture. Awesome.
What were your thoughts?
Is
on
this
your-
an interview about me again?
What?
No,
No,
we'll just
no,
start
I
with
mean,
we'll just start
we're
with
just-
you
we're just
because
thoughts
we're
on-
we're like on you already.
Yeah.
Let's
Your
do it.
thoughts on college, your experience.
My thoughts
What
on
was-
college. All right,
Was
here
it
we
worth
go.
it? Was it worth it? Was it worth
Get
6 years?
serious.
We're taking the shades off. We're getting serious. I kind of like them on.
Shades
Yeah,
on
let's
is
put
more
them on.
serious.
Yeah, it's totally serious.
My thoughts about college. I think it's good for certain fields because like
Totally.
you want to see proof from your doctor that he does know what he's
Medical,
doing.
law,
exactly.
Totally.
But like Gary Vee says, it's a bit overrated.
100%.
I feel like for most of the things nowadays, like in the information age, you just don't need, a piece of paper to prove
Mm.
your skills. You just
Mhm.
gotta show it, instead of just like
I think
waving that paper around.
it's so interesting though because in this day and age, it's like the college curriculum. For example, for me as an advertising major, I hated the fact that I had to take calculus. Why?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Why should I have to take calculus? Now, and I loved college.
Yeah.
I thought college was like the most fun 4 years of my life, but it was
Outside
because
of the
outside
actual
of the schooling.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the schooling. I think a portion of it was extremely beneficial. Like maybe 20 to 30% of it was something that I agree the money was worth it.
Yeah.
But then the other 75, 80% was just like completely.
Yeah,
point-
100%.
Like my last
Yeah.
class of college that I just took before we made this move out to Bali was poetry. Where in the hell am I ever gonna write about shake? And it was just complete shit. It was ridiculous. It
Mine was like gender studies
yeah,
in
like-
architecture. You know what I mean? Like
kidding
That
me.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that just like perfectly correlates. I feel like.
we were like studying about like phallic structures and why we tend to create the. It was just weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's just not placed.
I feel like though.
Sounds like the opposite.
I feel like it would have been helpful, in my opinion, if it was if I came in as a freshman and we strictly went over advertising, like to a T, or filmmaking, or something along those lines. Like, I hated all the gen
Yeah.
eds. I think it's just ridiculous.
It's just a way for college to strip you from your money. So you got to pay for these bullshit classes that aren't going to
But
teach
I feel
you
like
anything.
especially in the States,
Yeah, I think it's different.
Yeah, well, give me
Outside
nowadays
the
they
States.
literally like rob you. If you
Oh,
want to go to college, you
completely.
just say bye to money.
just for
like loans
just for-
on loans.
We have some viewers that are not from the U.S. So, like, for example, like to go out of state in the U.S., my degree was $200,000,
That's what I'm saying.
which is unreal.
My year was like
It's crazy.
2,000-3,000.
That's
year.
crazy, dude. See, like
That's Europe in general.
In-state tuition, I believe, is still like $20,000 if you don't get scholarships.
I was going to. I went for a year to Cap Life Mona, which was like 15 minutes from where I lived, and I think it was like $8,000 for the year, and that's probably like on the cheaper end.
That is definitely on the cheaper end.
But $8,000 4 years, that's what, $32,000.
Yeah.
I wonder why parents choose
Huh.
to like push you there in the first place. Like they know they're gonna be losing money. You know what I mean? They know they're gonna have to like invest a big chunk.
See,
Gary
How do they
Vee
see an
says it.
ROI on
I
that?
feel like it depends on the person, though. I mean, like, okay, if you're so well off,
yeah,
there's
Gary Vee says it best.
yeah, he does.
It's about the parents. It's not really about the parents wanting what's best for their kids. It's about the parents wanting to prove to the other parents that their
To the
kid
Joneses.
went
The
to
Joneses.
keep up with the Joneses. They want to
Yeah.
impress the other parents that their kid
Yeah.
went to this prestigious school and graduated and got a degree because it's like what you're like supposed to do, and they don't want to go talk to like Sally
Mhm.
and say like, oh my daughter like actually dropped out. That's just like not cool.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
just a
like you're, like-
classic route, and everyone has approved of it thus far. And
On my side, though, I feel like it was beneficial in the sense that I wouldn't have gotten. I've got so many insane connections though from college. I'm not saying that all that money was worth.
yeah,
But like in hindsight, I think for me it was personally because I got to meet so many different kids from so many different unique backgrounds, and the fact that I went to this. Okay, I think it depends if you go and do something with it. If you just go to college, I think it's just pointless. Just to go and get the degree, that's pointless. But if you go there and have a purpose of like, I'm going to network my ass off, and I'm going to figure out how to.
but do you have that
make the most
purpose
of the
when you're
system.
like 18 or
No, it's
is it 21 in the states?
yeah.
See, I think
think
that,
you're too
I think,
young.
I think exactly. I think it's ridiculous. You have to pick like your life at 18 is like, what do you want to do?
No,
Yeah.
that's pointless.
It's ridiculous.
I make it literally a lot to like travel 1 year between high
That's
school
sweet.
and
I
college.
think like in
Like,
Europe,
long.
in Europe, it's like more popular.
The gap
in
year.
Australia,
Yeah.
it's more popular for like kids to like graduate high school and to go and do like
Yeah.
a gap year and travel.
I wish I would have done that. I feel like I would have gotten a new perspective and been like, okay, I come back, like I know what I think I want to do. I have like a direction. It took me 3 years to figure out filmmaking was going to
Yeah.
be the thing. I was gonna be a vet. So it's interesting.
Yeah, there's so many kids that go in, they have no idea what they want to do. They just pick a
Dude,
major
they just get your
because
money.
they have to.
They get your
And
money.
they pay for a major that then they graduate with a degree and they're like, oh, I actually hate this. I'm never going to use it.
Yeah.
They spend like a couple $100,000 on a
I
piece
think
of paper that they're
the
never going to use.
system needs to be refined, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah, 100%. It totally needs to be refined. Yeah, I think it could be made though to be great, in my opinion. I think it could be made way better, and if it was cheaper. The fact that it's that expensive, dude. If think about it, if you're from a family that's not as fortunate, and you can't go to college, and you have no money to do things like that, you're kind of screwed. If
Well, you're not screwed because
Well,
you don't need to go to college.
no, you don't need to go to college, but like if you're
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like scholarship's the only option. If
Yeah,
you're not like
it's-
busting your ass off studying.
yeah,
and
it's tough.
You won't
But
get it.
it's really pointless to pay unless you're gonna be a doctor or like a lawyer, someone who like you need to actually learn stuff that you can't like just type in on YouTube and learn.
Yeah.
But I think for 90% of people, it's very almost pointless to go to college.
Yeah, I think it just depends again on the person though. I think that's what it boils back down to because I feel like I think the U.S. definitely needs to change something in the structure of it. Like making me memorize all this stuff for calculus when I'm an ad major just makes no sense. Or like
Yeah.
bio or Spanish. I was like, how does that have any correlation to advertising?
Spanish.
Yeah, like seriously.
well,
it
it
just-
kind of does. Spanish.
Like
just
literally,
doesn't.
from like 7th grade on, I'd probably say the majority of the stuff that I was taught in school, never gonna need to learn, or never gonna need to know.
Is it because you're like your curiosity starts kicking in from that age, or until then you're just like
I'm
listening,
just saying,
you're
like,
not getting it,
the
but
material,
then you start like waking
the material that's like taught in schools from like high school, college, could even argue like middle school. Like the majority of it, you're never gonna need to use.
up.
it
Yeah,
in
but there's
like-
got to be a ground.
No, there's
like,
definitely like middle
knowledge
school, high
basis, you
school.
know?
It's like it teaches you like you have this assignment, you got to get this done, you got to meet this
Or else we
deadline.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to
de-
communicate that.
Yeah, no,
No,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
definitely.
But like the actual material that's taught, the majority, I think. I mean, Gary Vee was saying this yesterday. We have phones where you can literally Google anything, and get the answer to it in a second.
That's an interesting one.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like, why do I need to know?
yeah, exactly. He was saying like,
Math off
why do
by
you need
heart.
to know the periodic table? You can just use Google and get anything in like.
No, that's a
second.
bunch of shit that I had
It's
to
like having a
memorize the
horse
whole
just in case
period.
the car breaks down.
It's exactly. It's like having a horse in case your car breaks down.
That's interesting. I personally feel like I made the right decision to head off to college. I'm like grateful that my parents were able to send me. I think that in my career in videography and like Peige, starting this company, if I wouldn't have gone to college, I don't think I would have been able to have the Ducks. The Ducks wouldn't be a thing.
Mhm.
The Ducks are the number one collegiate.
No, for sure, everything's
collegiate-
connected.
Yeah,
Whatever
it's,
you
it's
do.
connected, and I mean,
Can't
like,
beat yourself
I think
over it.
a really cool thing about going to Oregon, for example, is like ducks fly. There's ducks everywhere. I meet so many people because of the ducks,
Yeah.
and I think that's a really cool thing that we don't have in common. And like if he didn't go to school, I think that's an awesome thing because he got to network in a world that I didn't get to network in for 4 years. I think that's why it works. If we had both went to school, it'd just be kind of like, oh, let's just split money. That makes sense. You know, when you
Yeah.
both can bring the same thing to the table. I think we both brought different things to the table. I think that's where my college totally paid off for me. Traveling with a team for March Madness, like I was on a bus and a plane with a basketball team for 4 weeks of my senior year of college. That was pretty cool. I think.
For me, it was kind of similar, like, because I had transferred to 3 different universities, and right now when I look back,
Yeah.
there's just so many people I met
Yeah.
from like every country, every city, and just like broadening that, you know.
Yeah. It still should be
Bubble of
cheaper.
friends.
It totally should be cheaper.
But also too, it's really expensive
Totally.
way of networking.
Totally. No, yeah.
Like, you'd be much better off spending that money to go and like travel the world and meet new people. It's better than like sitting in a classroom all day, learning nonsense.
I
But
see.
where does this change? Did the parents have to teach the kid to think like that before? Because like you don't think like that during uni. You're just in there.
Yeah, dude. But see,
We're
Yeah.
talking about it now after.
Okay, but
everything.
you also have to think like when Gary talks about these kids, like he's talking about like a cold-blooded like entrepreneur. Like you gotta think about like 90% of the society isn't gonna, if they don't go to school, they're gonna be like, shit, I'm done. I don't know. Even if the material's in front of them, I think a
Yeah,
lot of
that's a
people,
pretty big thing.
a lot of people aren't just gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, Chad, when you dropped out of school, are gonna be like, damn, okay, I gotta grind. I gotta make it. They're gonna sit there and be like, shit, I'm screwed. I don't have a
Yeah.
degree. You know, so I see both sides. I think that you have to be a special type of person to be able to drop out and be that motivated and like show up and do something crazy like that. Make a name for yourself in a community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's definitely the.
It's a person thing. It's person to person.
It's definitely the easier way to go. Like, go to college, graduate, get
Totally.
a job, and then live the rest of your life doing that job, paying off that debt. But if you're not going to go to college, I agree. I think you definitely have to have like some kind of motive and some kind of drive to
Yeah.
be doing something else.
It has to be
chasing
something you're passionate about, right? Like, I mean, if I wake up tomorrow, which I am, for the next,
You sure?
yeah, 100%, for the next 100 years and do video, I would be stoked. That's like my idea.
I'm trying to think like more in the future, like down the road. What if everyone dropped out? You know, like one of those scenarios if you're like the last man on earth, just like extreme, right? Just try and like figure it out. If everyone dropped out, if everyone was on that grind, like you know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
then it wouldn't happen.
yeah. What's that extreme? You know, if this one sucks so bad, what if everyone dropped out?
Dude,
Is
but
that also bad?
But I don't think you'll ever. The system of college makes so many billions of dollars that they won't. It's not gonna stop. College is just not gonna just go away tomorrow.
yeah, but there are obviously more and more people
Huh.
Yeah, there's definitely
dropping
more
out
and more people
today.
dropping
Oh yeah,
out.
waking up
totally. I
literally
just
than ever
don't think, dude. Think about how much money colleges make, and how, like there's so many things for college football is college athletics brings kids to college. Do you guys think that it'll go anywhere anytime soon? I think kids will continue to drop out. Dude, kids have dropped out for.
Or
ye-
just not go.
I still don't think it'll ever go anywhere. I think they will always be there. Those institutions have been around for so long. Or Oregon, my friends' dads and grandpas have went to Oregon. Like their kids all go to Oregon. 4 generations of family members have gone to Oregon.
Yeah, I feel like even if everyone dropped out and it became a new thing, you know, like you don't go to college anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like there are groups that are
They'll still go.
still gonna try to
100%.
start something back up again. Like we're trying
Yeah.
to stop it now and like say it's not the best choice for, you know,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I think there's always that like, you know, group
Yeah.
that
That's just
forms and
like-
starts.
Everybody in a family like driving a Ford. That's like
Yeah.
everybody like living in the same town. It's like, oh, my whole family went to Oregon. I have to go to Oregon. And then we're gonna graduate and we're gonna get a job over at like Amazon. We're all gonna work together and we're all gonna drive Ford trucks and we're all gonna do the same thing. They're not going because they
No, it's
want
like,
to
it's like
to
pushed
go to
upon
Oregon
them.
to like
Yeah.
because they think it's like the best for their life. It's just like, what everybody does.
Yeah, it's just like push. It's a societal norm. Dude, a societal norm is to graduate high school, go to college for 4 years, get out of that, get a 9-to-5 job for 25 years, retire at 50, have a wife and kids, and call it a day. That's like the U.S. I feel like societal norm, which we're absolutely not going to do, but like that is the U.S. societal norm.
And I think it might be the majority, but a lot of people that go through that and end up with the job in that 9-to-5 societal norm
Usually hate that shit.
usually hate their life, I would say. If not the majority, a very good chunk of them. Which is, I mean,
That would suck.
if you graduate at 22, 23, and then you live till like 80, it's like 60 years of hating your life.
That sounds bad.
Or you say you retire at 65, like 40 years of hating your life. That's the majority of your life.
Dude, see, I think it boils back to like the system of tossing kids into that fire when, say you don't know what you want to do, is just like finding what you want to do. That is like finding your passion.
Yeah.
Before, I think if an institution was set up to where it's like, we want you to find your passion, not pay us a shit ton of money, and then like you'll figure it out. Like it's up to you know what I'm saying?
You know what kind of grinds my gears? The fact that, like, from
Explain.
30 and on, people just think life stops. People think you're old.
Yeah.
You're
Dude,
done with it.
I'm
Dude, I'm
just
27.
getting
I'm
fired up.
approaching.
Just getting fired up.
Exactly. So that.
Still in the first quarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not even
But it's
there.
also a societal norm to make you believe that, like,
30,
you
you're
know,
done.
after university, job around
Yeah.
20s and 30, you better figure it out because that's it. That's the end of
Yeah.
it. Like, you know, wife, kids, that's it. Pension. It's like,
Yeah.
no, like, you got so much more
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Don't stop telling yourself that that's it.
You know what's interesting though is I feel like with social right now, and there being people on there that are expressing how that's not like the case. I feel like gears are starting to turn a little bit slowly for sure, but surely I think it's starting to change. Like you're seeing bigger people that have been successful. And you got, for reference Gary again. Shout out Gary. How old's Gary? 50 something?
43, 40.
I don't know.
32?
Probably 50.
He's not 50?
He's probably
40
50. He's probably
That dude says he's just getting started. And like I hope by 40 I'm just like Paige is just getting into it. You know what I mean? I feel like at 40 I want to still be working. I love this. This is fun.
No, he's definitely like pioneering the real talk.
No, yeah,
In
he's
today's
getting that. He's making it a
society.
part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Totally.
And he gets shit for it.
No,
Most of the time.
Yeah,
You know?
totally. But I mean, like with anything though, if you're against the grain, you're always gonna get shit
Yeah.
for it. 100%. Nothing that goes against the grain is just like seen as okay.
And that's why I feel like kids comply to this because they're made to believe that their life stops. It's like, you
Yeah.
better have it figured out. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
Dude, well that's the same.
You
no,
cannot have it
you're-
figured out at
You're saying
35,
that,
40.
You're saying it at 30, 35. Let's go back to 18. 18, they're saying when you get out of high school, shit, some kids are 17. You need to have your life figured out. You need to come into college. Dude, if you go to, for example, in some schools in California, Cal Poly Slow, if you go to Cal Poly Slow, you can't change your major. Can you imagine going in there as like finance and be like, wow, I actually hate finance. Sorry, Billy. We're going to take your
Yeah.
money or you're going to transfer.
No, I hate contracts.
That's
anything
crazy.
with long, yeah.
That's nuts.
And even if you do have something figured out,
Yeah.
let's say until 30, 40,
Yeah.
like, there's this pressure that you're not allowed to change it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, change it at 60.
Yeah.
Like, you're still alive. You're still
Yeah.
breathing. You're still
Totally.
capable of thinking.
Mm.
It's just this fear that we're, that's put on us by society.
Yeah.
We keep putting on each other.
Yeah. For
So-
those that get that opportunity, though, I think to go to college, you need to make the most of it by getting involved, meeting as many new people as possible.
Which is hard when you're young because all you're doing
Totally.
is bullshitting.
Yeah,
You're not understanding that
Totally.
that time.
It's so crucial.
Exactly. And I was telling you, like,
Yeah.
older ones are telling you, that
Yeah.
it's crucial, but you just don't get it. You're like,
you
yeah,
say, yeah, whatever.
I get it,
I'm
but you
going
don't.
out tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I feel like I think it's person to person. Like I benefited so much from going to college, and I think I could have I think I could have benefited too from not going. If I was just given that money, I think I could have benefited, but I totally benefited from going, in my opinion. But I see both sides.
If I would recommend, like, anybody who's like graduating high school and they kind of are like on the fence about what they should do, I would say take a year off. If you have the luxury of being able to go and like travel, highly recommend that. But I would say at least like take a year off, kind of do your thing, dip your toes in different things, experiment things, and kind of see what you like, what you don't like, and try to figure out or narrow it down at least to try to find your passion and figure out what you want to do with your life.
I'm just trying to think of like one thing that I would have done differently, and certain things pop into my head, like maybe avoid the entire, like certain cities and just transferring over. But then it makes me think that like even transferring to Vienna or like these places, like maybe I didn't get most out of university, but I understand German. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Sick. Yeah.
So it's like it's not architecture, but
yeah, you got something out of that.
exactly.
That situation.
So
in your life.
there, like everything's meant to be. Like, don't beat yourself over it.
Yeah.
You know, if you got that, if your gut's telling you one thing right now, just listen to it. Don't fall into that fear of like all the what ifs. Just go for it.
Yeah. Totally.
Things will work out.
I loved this conversation. I feel like it was we gave a lot from each side of the conversation. And hopefully gave the listener some ideas if they're, coming out of college, if they're currently in college, and they're going to finish it out to make the most of it. And if they're not, to like really sit down and think about what they want to do with their life at that young age.
And most people have their gut telling them like
Totally.
to drop out, but they
Yeah.
can't because they're still on their like parents'
Yeah.
payroll.
Yeah.
And as Gary says once again,
Get off your parents' payroll.
exactly, that's gonna solve it. So stop whining and do something about it.
100%.
Because you can. Don't think you gotta finish in order to,
Nobody's literally going to come pick you up, take you to school, and just handcuff you to the desk in class and make you attend school. Everybody, they say like, oh, my parents are forcing me, and some might force a little harder than others,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
But I think it still comes down to that person and whatever they decide to do with their life, they have full control over. Yeah. I
And
think
good
that-
reasonings. Sorry to cut you off, but if you're willing to like make a move like that, you gotta. Your parents
Back-
still
you gotta-
love you. You
yeah.
can't
Yeah.
be like whatever.
You got to back it up.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You
Yeah.
gotta know why you're doing it.
Dude, like Christian Guzman talked about when he dropped, is a big fitness guy. When he dropped out of college, he was saying that he was making so much money doing his online coaching that it was like taking away from his school, and he wouldn't have just dropped him like, yeah, screw it, I don't have anything to do. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna make a jump like that, you had film.
Yeah.
You had clients from film. Like what Chad, I think I don't want it to be misinterpreted as like he's like, yeah, F school. He's
Yeah.
saying that
No,
you
no,
need
no,
you need
definitely not.
you need to love something though.
No, it's definitely F school.
So, I mean,
No, but yeah, like Brayden was saying, I was doing film while I was in school, and I had good reasoning to show my parents that, look, this is what I'm doing. I don't feel college is going to be beneficial. This is what I want to do otherwise. And I was traveling. I had to miss traveling for gigs. I had to miss some school for that, and I had to turn down some gigs because I had school. I was making money from these gigs, and then I finally showed them, like, look, I think I can pursue this further. I don't think college is beneficial or worth the time or money, and they understood, thank God, and
thank God.
it was the right decision in my mind. But I think that's going to wrap up this convo. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Think it was a good one.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Hope
If
you
you
guys
have
got some
any
out of it.
any thoughts or questions, shoot us a DM on Instagram,
100%. We'll respond.
and we will catch you guys in the next pod in a couple days.
Talk
See
to
you later.
ya,
Thank you.
I'll be rolling round. I just need to get away, no slowing down. Do you even know what I've been talking about? Did you even listen when I talk to ya? Talk to ya.